Assalamu alaikum. In today's lecture regarding metabolic defects in amino acid metabolism, we will discuss three diseases: maple syrup urine disease, albinism, and homocystinuria. Now, starting with the maple syrup urine disease, which is abbreviated as MSUD. In MSUD, there is a characteristic smell of urine similar to the burnt sugar or maple sugar due to excretion of branched chain keto acids. Maple is a tree which has a very high contents of sugar in its leaves. So what happens in this MSUD, branched chain amino acids, when the amino group from all these three branched chain amino acids is removed, they become keto acids. And in the further step of metabolism, these keto acids are not decarboxylated. So there is excessive accumulation of keto acids. That is why it is also called this branched chain ketonuria. So another name of maple syrup urine disease is branched chain ketonuria. MSUD is a rare autosomal recessive disorder in which there is a partial or complete deficiency in the branched chain alpha keto acid dehydrogenase enzyme, an enzyme complex that decarboxylates leucine, isoleucine, and valine. These are the branched chain amino acids. Now, valine, essential, all three are essential. Valine is abbreviated as VAL with a single alphabet V. It is a glucogenic, while leucine is a ketogenic. Isoleucine, which has a longer name, it is having both the properties of ketogenic as well as glucogenic. All three amino acids, these are essential amino acids. Leucine is a major ketogenic amino acid. These amino acids serve as an alternative source of fuel for brain, especially under conditions of starvation. Point to be remembered. All the three amino acids undergo similar sequence of reactions. The first three steps in the metabolism of these three branched chain amino acids are similar, and they are diverted in different directions after the initial three common metabolic steps. Now here you can see the initial three steps. This is transamination, oxidative decarboxylation, and FAD-linked dehydrogenation. These three first steps, they are common in the metabolism of these branched chain amino acids, leucine, valine, and isoleucine. And after the FAD-linked dehydrogenation, the track of individual amino acids, it diverts to its destination. This is the alpha keto acid dehydrogenase enzyme system, which requires thiamine for its activity. In MSUD, maple syrup urine disease, there is a deficiency or inactivity of this enzyme. So this is also a regulatory enzyme in the metabolism of branched chain amino acid. So by the activity of this enzyme dehydrogenase system, all the keto acids of respective amino acids, they are being converted into their CoA derivatives, and after that FAD-linked dehydrogenation takes place and they adopt their own track. As isoleucine is a glucogenic, because it is in its metabolism, it produces succinyl CoA, so this is a glucogenic property. Besides this succinyl CoA synthesis, it is also forming acetyl CoA, so this is a ketogenic property. While valine, in its metabolism, it is because glucogenic only, so it is synthesizing succinyl-CoA, while this leucine is purely a ketogenic in nature. In its metabolism, finally we are getting acetyl-CoA or acetoacetate. So this is the ketogenic property of leucine. Here, at this step, oxidative decarboxylation, we get NADH, and here FAD-linked dehydrogenation, we get FADH2. Point to remember. Now, transamination, the first step. The 3 amino acids undergo a reversible transamination to form their respective alpha keto acids in muscles. The rest of the reactions take place in liver. Second step, which is taking place in liver, oxidative decarboxylation. Alpha keto acid dehydrogenase is a complex mitochondrial enzyme. It is comparable in function to pyruvate dehydrogenase complex carrying 5 coenzymes. So this enzyme system is present in the regulatory enzyme, enzyme present in the liver. And the problem is related with this enzyme in MSUD. Alpha keto acid dehydrogenase catalyzes oxidative decarboxylation of the keto acids to the corresponding acyl-CoA thioesters. This is a regulatory enzyme in the catabolism of branched chain amino acids. Now, third step is dehydrogenation, which is FAD linked, and we get, by the dehydrogenation, we get FADH2. The dehydrogenation is similar to that in fatty acid oxidation. FAD is a coenzyme, and there is an incorporation of a double bond. And it is now believed that there are 2 enzymes responsible for dehydrogenation. After the initial 3 common reactions, the metabolism of each branched chain amino acid diverges and takes independent route. Now, clinical importance of MSUD. Amino acids and their corresponding alpha keto acids accumulate that interferes with brain functions. The disease is catalyzed by feeding problems, vomiting, dehydration, severe metabolic acidosis because of the excessive accumulation of the keto acids of corresponding branched chain amino acids, and a characteristic maple syrup odor in the urine. The classic form is the most common type of MSUD. Leukocytes or cultured skin fibroblasts from these patients show little or no branched chain alpha keto acid dehydrogenase activity. Now, infants with classic MSUD show symptoms within the first several days of life. If untreated, the disease leads to a mental retardation. You know that most of the disease is related with the metabolism of amino acids. They usually affect the brain. So in MSUD, the disease is affecting the brain plus the physical disabilities and even death. Maple syrup urine disease can be classified by its pattern of signs and symptoms or by its genetic cause. The most common and severe form of the disease is the classic type, which appears soon after the birth. There are several variations of the disease. A classic severe form, when there is a complete or very slight activity of alpha keto acid dehydrogenase enzyme activity is there. Intermediate, when some activity of this enzyme is there, so we get intermediate MSUD. Intermittent, when the disease appears with the intervals of a normal span. Or thiamine responsive MSUD, you know that the activity of alpha ketoacid dehydrogenase enzyme, which convert alpha keto acids into their CoA derivatives, it requires this thiamine. So if we get the good results, if we control the disease by giving thiamine in the diet, that is called a thiamine responsive MSUD. Now treatment. Early diagnosis and lifelong dietary treatment is essential if the child with MSUD is to develop normally. The disease is treated with a synthetic formula that contains limited amounts of leucine, isoleucine and valine. So regarding management of the case of MSUD, we have to focus on 2 points: early diagnosis and the use of this synthetic formula. These synthetic formula, you see, MSUD diet powder, it is freely available commercially. You see here written iron fortified diet powder with no leucine, isoleucine and valine. So such synthetic preparations we use in the patients with the MSUD, maple syrup urine disease. Now albinism, the defect in the metabolism of tyrosine. Defect in tyrosine metabolism, deficiency in the production of melanin, because tyrosine, when it is acted upon by the tyrosinase enzyme, it is going to be converted into this pigment melanin. So partial or complete absence of pigment from the skin, hair and eyes. Complete albinism results from a deficiency of tyrosinase activity, causing a total absence of pigment from the hair, eyes and skin. It is the most severe form of the condition. Here you see, in addition to hypopigmentation, affected individuals have vision defects and photophobia, that is sunlight hurt eyes. They cannot open their eyes in bright light. So they are at increased risk of skin cancer. The patients of albinism have a risk of developing a skin cancer. Here is another photograph of a case of albinism. Now homocystinuria. In metabolism of methionine, there is a defect in the enzyme cystathionine beta synthase, which is required for the conversion of homocysteine into cystathionine. The diseases are inherited as autosomal recessive illnesses, characterized by high plasma and urinary levels of homocysteine and methionine and low levels of cysteine. Because in the metabolism of methionine, after this step, after the formation of cystathionine, we get cysteine, sulfur containing a nutritionally non-essential amino acid. So if cystathionine in the metabolism of methionine is not being synthesized, we are unable to get cysteine. So the level of cysteine in homocystinuria, it decreases, and the levels of homocysteine and methionine, it's very much logical, will be increased. And high level of homocysteine in the blood leads to its excessive excretion in the urine because it is water soluble. So the condition is called homocystinuria. Homocystinuria is a separate risk factor for the cardiovascular diseases. Now here you see the track of methionine regarding its metabolism. Methionine, after it receives adenosine, it becomes active. This is the active form of methionine. That means now this form can readily donate its methyl group. Methionine itself cannot donate methyl group, so this form S-adenosyl methionine, when this methionine is having adenosine incorporation in its structure, it becomes its active form. This active form now is ready to donate its methyl group to other compounds of biological importance like epinephrine, these are catecholamine. After donating the methyl group, S-adenosyl methionine, it is converted into S-adenosyl homocysteine. Now the function of adenosine is over. That was only to make methionine active. And after the S-adenosyl methionine has donated its methyl group, the function of adenosine is over. So from here, adenosine is set free, and the new compound is homocysteine, and it has got importance regarding homocystinuria and regarding the cardiovascular diseases. Homocysteine, in the presence of cystathionine synthase, it is converted into cystathionine, and vitamin B6 is essential coenzyme, and serine enters here in the metabolism of methionine. Cystathionine is converted into alpha keto butyrate, and here in the step we get cysteine. Now I told you if the block is here in homocystinuria, so we are not able to get cysteine. So in homocystinuria, when the block is here, the level of cysteine in the blood will decrease. Now this alpha ketobutyrate, ultimately it leads to be converted into a succinyl CoA. Now this is important point. Let me stop you people here. This homocysteine, the difference between the structure of homocysteine and methionine is only the absence of methyl group in homocysteine. Now if we are able to add methyl group in homocysteine, we will be able to get methionine once again. So when our body requires methionine and our body wants to get it from homocysteine, what will do? The activity of methyl transferase incorporate methyl group from tetrahydrofolate in the presence of B12 in the homocysteine, and it becomes methionine. This is important step. I will tell you later regarding treatment of homocystinuria. When the block is here like this, the block is here, we always try to treat this condition homocystinuria by adding in the diet vitamin B6, B12 and tetrahydrofolate, so that the level of homocysteine get decreased. If we add B6, there are the chances that homocysteine might be converted into cystathionine with a slight activity of this enzyme. So homocysteine, by adding B6, some of the activity of this enzyme will lead to conversion of homocysteine into cystathionine. We add in such patients vitamin B12 and this tetrahydrofolate, so that instead of excessive accumulation of homocysteine, it may be converted into methionine. So the risk factor for cardiovascular diseases is decreased. I will tell you later regarding when we discuss management of homocystinuria. So this is an important point here. From here, we are not getting cysteine if the block is here. Now the second, what we get is from the absence of this enzyme, this is homocystinuria. Homocystinuria having the characteristic signs and symptoms of DVT, stroke, atherosclerosis, mental retardation, which is a common entity presented by the defect in the metabolisms of different amino acids or joint contractures. Another enzyme deficiency in the methionine metabolism is the deficiency of cystathionase enzyme. So if cystathionase enzyme is deficient, here there will be a block, there will be excessive accumulation of cystathionine. And as cystathionine is water soluble, excessive cystathionine will be excreted in urine, and the condition is called cystathioniniuria. We will discuss later. So this is how the defect in the metabolism of methionine will lead to two entities, homocystinuria and cystathioniniuria. Now, clinical presentation of homocystinuria. Individuals who are homozygous, unfortunately, for cystathionine beta synthase deficiency exhibit ectopia lentis. It means that the lens of the eye is not placed at the right position. You can see here. This condition is called ectopia lentis. Skeletal abnormalities like you see here, thin, long limbs, tall, thin build, long limbs, high arched feet, and knock knees. Osteoporosis, mental retardation, and premature arterial disease like atherosclerosis, DVT, and stroke. I told you that homocystinuria itself is a separate risk factor for cardiovascular diseases. This is the different shapes of the lower limbs, the legs. This is the normal one. This is the bow legs, and this is the shape of knock knees. When the person walks, these knees knock with each other. So this is a state of a knock knee. Treatment. Patients can be responsive or non-responsive to oral administration of pyridoxine, vitamin B6, a coenzyme of cystathionine beta synthase. I told you when I showed you the slide of the homocystinuria that we always try to add vitamin B6 in the diet so that some of the amount of homocysteine might get converted into cystathionine. Treatment includes restriction of methionine intake. We make the quantity of methionine in the diet as low as possible, and supplementation with vitamin B6, B12, and folate. B6 we require so that homocysteine get converted into cystathionine, and B12 and folate we require for the conversion of homocysteine back into methionine. Thank you very much for today's lecture. Inshallah, we'll meet in our last lecture regarding metabolic defects in the protein metabolism. Stay safe, stay blessed.